Hey, this movie would have been better if it was called Jehovah's Witnesses Pray at Night.
I really want to make that movie.
Yo, same.
It's going to happen.
Let's do it.
Is Tamara home?
I think you have the wrong trailer.
The Strangers Pray at Night is directed by Johannes Roberts. I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. I don't really care. It's the guy who directed 47 Meters Down the Other Side of the Door. Why the fuck do I care? It stars Bailey Madison and Christina Hendricks and Lewis Pullman and Martin Henderson and a bunch of fucking other people. It tells the story of a family bringing their daughter to boarding school. They stop in a trailer park and the strangers are there and hijinks. Heather, bear with me for 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Bear with me for 1 second. Bear with me. Hold on. So for the record, The First Strangers is not a great film, as I discussed in my review for it on this channel. It's a fun film, though. It's a decently creepy film.
But it's fun campy.
It's fun. Well, the first one I wouldn't even call it campy. I would call it atmospheric and, for the most part, well made and competently shot and well acted and mostly well directed. It falters a bit in the writing aspect, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And then you have this piece of shit, and it literally... Why would you fucking make a sequel to Strangers 10 years later if you're going to literally throw out every single thing about the first one that made it even slightly decent? What the fuck? As I said, the fucking first movie, as I said in my review, is not a masterpiece of filmmaking by any means, but it is atmospheric, and it is well directed, and it is well acted, and aside from some shoddy writing, it's a pretty good movie. So you have this movie, Jehovah's Witnesses Pray at Night, which takes everything that worked about the first film, be it the natural lighting, or the Steadicam and handheld camera, or the good directing, or the fact that it's not a slasher film at all, it's like a atmospheric home invasion, and it throws it out the fucking window, and it's like, hey, we're gonna make an 80s slasher film homage, but without any of the charm. I am really mad, and the best way I can compare it to anything, this film reminds me of the 1998 American Godzilla film with Matthew Broderick.
Oh my god.
Where it has no understanding of what made Godzilla cool, or in this case, what made The Strangers cool. It doesn't have any clue what people liked about the first one. It doesn't have any clue why the first one was well made. And it's ultimately a fucking vapid conveyor belt Hollywood film. It was just like, it was flat. It was boring. The writing was terrible. And honestly, I just felt bad for some of the actors. They were really, you could see they were trying. But with a script this terrible, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal could have made it good.
Let's not bring Jake into this. Every moment that was supposed to be the like, oh, something's gonna happen, they were, I understand they were trying to like maybe drag it out to add some tension and add some anxiety to it, but by the time they finally get to the point and, you know, it's a slasher, someone dies, you're just sitting there like, oh, I didn't really care about him. Because you don't care about anyone. The only character... No, I can even be like, you care about Kinsey, because I cared about Bailey Madison. I didn't care about the character of Kinsey. And so let's get that out of the way right now. Bailey Madison did a really good job. It was weird seeing her as an adult, because I've seen her growing up since she was like 5 fucking years old in everything else she was in. But for what it's worth, for what she had to work with, which was not anything... She did a good job, and you can see she was giving it her all and really trying. And I thought she was the best performance in the film. We need a edgy teenager, and she's so edgy that
she smokes cigarettes. And she's going to boarding school.
The brother plays baseball,
and he's 17 years old, but we'll cast a 30-year-old
because that's Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll have the parents implied to be getting divorced, but also like
were they? Because they were like
they were like trying to fuck.
They were like there was a lot of awkward sexual tension.
There was also a lot of awkward dialogue. What's the queef?
The audience at each point of this movie got more and more restless.
You could see how they were pretty much done with this
near
film,
the end.
Kind of like we were.
Near the end, there are people just like groaning, and to multiple takes.
There were several people laughing.
People were laughing.
I mean, I was too.
The whole audience was talking.
I don't know, when I saw
there
like
was a lot of like muttering between each other.
There's a scene in a van.
Oh Jesus!
I was laughing so fucking hard.
I can't with that scene. That's literally the most amazing.
It goes on for like 5 minutes, and it's so funny. It's trying to be like intense and scary, but it's so funny.
Like, just like, you know, kill me, get it over with, or something, or don't. And he's just sitting there. It almost felt like a Tim and Eric skit.
Yeah.
At one point where he's just sitting there,
turning up the fucking radio.
Yeah, he's changing.
Staring at him. You literally watch one of the strangers awkwardly change the station on the radio like 4 times until he finds a song he likes to kill the man to. It's really funny.
No, you know what it was? It felt exactly like the Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, it felt like something, but like less good, with less stylized.
No, yeah. Well, that's a talent.
That's an insult to David Lynch.
I'm sorry. Don't hurt me.
Papa, we're sorry. Hey. Okay, before I get back into the crazy negatives, I want to specify a couple things that I did like about this film.
Yeah.
Bailey Madison's performance, as I said, was very good. The soundtrack, for as obnoxious as it was, I have fucking Making Love Out of Nothing at All stuck in my head now. And there's the pool sequence in this film is actually really well done.
That was my favorite part of the film. If the whole movie felt like that scene, it would be great.
Yeah, I agree.
It was. I mean, it was well.
It was well
choreographed. It was well lit.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
The camera techniques with the camera and sound design of that scene were fucking excellent.
It felt like he was actually dying.
It was a really intense scene.
I love that scene.
That's a really good scene. That's about it. That's all I liked about this movie.
I liked some of the shots with the 80s, the super zoom.
Okay, here, I'll show you what she means by this. So guys, every time that someone looks scared or sad, they do this. That's the brilliant camera techniques of The Strangers Pray at Night, which is a dumb title.
I enjoyed it. I think it was overused.
That's fair.
Every 5 minutes.
There are a lot of those.
I enjoyed the establishing shots. I liked the way some of them were a little bit. They kind of lingered a little bit longer. I thought it felt very. I think it suited a mood that they should have had, but because every time the action would pick up again. You'd lose that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's fair. So, hey, let me say what I didn't like about this movie.
In a coherent manner.
Like I said, The Strangers 1 was not a slasher flick.
This is not a Strangers film.
Not at all.
This is not a Strangers film. This is like you put Trump onto a building and now it's Trump Tower. It's a brand. You're slapping a brand on a film that has nothing to do with it's not a sequel. It has nothing to do with the first film at all. If anything, it's a hard reboot, and even then it feels shallow and fucking completely devoid of any care about what the first film was. And then on top of that, it's full of fucking studio lighting and lots of just like fucking static shots and 80s everything, 80s nostalgia, which, mind you, is already way too prevalent, and it might be a little hypocritical for me to say because I love It Follows, but it's a little overdone. Music.
Heather, they're playing Kids in America. She's wearing a Ramones shirt. Do you remember the 80s?
I remember the 80s.
Do you guys remember the 80s?
I was not there.
There was a fucking... The title card of this movie feels like...
Oh my goodness. It felt like It. If you took the title card of It...
No, I wouldn't say It. I would say...
because it was sharp. Everything was sharp.
That's true. I would say, like...
Maybe...
Not many people have seen the movie, but if anyone's seen The Love Witch, and how the movie was literally shot in fucking, like, CinemaScope, like, 35mm film.
That sounds awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's a love letter. It's a love letter to the 70s. That 70s, like, exploitation.
And you can have that. You can have that.
Yes.
You can have a love letter, but you can't just take something that's popular right now and expect it to work in your crappy sequel to a movie that came out 10 years ago.
Well, that's my issue with it. I mean, it's clear what this movie wants to be. It has full-on homages to Texas Chainsaw and John Carpenter. The theme song is literally, I'm pretty sure, 2 notes shy of the themes of the theme from The Fog.
Okay. I could see that.
I'm pretty sure it's almost exact.
There's almost a shot-by-shot remake of
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
There's a couple bits in this that are direct, like, bordering ripoffs of better films.
Well, how else are they going to get people in the seats, Lee?
Not like that. If you want to be an homage to the 80s, fine. Be an homage to the 80s without making it a fucking sequel to a movie that had nothing to do with anything of that like. This should have been called anything but The Strangers.
Yes.
And the fact that it's called The Strangers is kind of infuriating because it has nothing to fucking do with anything. By slapping The Strangers' name on it, it's an insult to the first film.
Yeah.
And it's a cheap way of getting asses in seats to see this one. And that bothers the fuck out of me. I don't like that.
It's just, everything about this movie felt like they had something that they had in mind, and then they just got lazy with it.
Well, yeah, 80s films, that's the thing, 80s slasher films have charm. This didn't.
Charm. Please, Johannes Roberts.
What the fuck ever, what his name
Learn what charm is.
There's no charm to any... I mean, granted, there was no charm to the other side of the door. I didn't see 47 Meters Down. I have zero interest in seeing it because everything I've heard is awful.
Well, you see 48?
No. Regardless, it's just not well done. If you wanted it to be an homage to the 80s, fucking try harder, because having some neon lighting and a synthy score does not make your movie an 80s film. And it certainly doesn't fucking make it a Strangers film.
I think I said this to you, but a lot of the running around to trailer, I feel if they put the Benny Hill music behind it,
You did say this
it would
to me.
look like it came out of Scooby-Doo, because nothing happened. It's just running around aimlessly, and I think they were padding time.
They absolutely were.
They were padding time.
They were trying to stretch this film out to the barely 90-minute mark.
They didn't even get to 90 minutes.
They didn't get to 90 minutes, but like, you can literally tell, because there were so many points in this film where they had a reason to like end the film, be it like they had like a fucking gun or
oh, you mean that 4
vehicle.
times he came back up out from the dead?
No, I'm just talking like the fucking, like, they had a gun that could literally have ended the movie, and he just refuses to shoot people. On the subject of Dollface and the Strangers themselves, when your masked silent characters, or mostly silent characters, are masked and mostly silent, and you can still tell that they're being played by completely different people from the first movie, that's a problem. Dollface specifically. Remember how in the first review I said that the way Gemma Ward plays her in the first film is really cold and emotionless and very inhuman, and that's really scary because she's supposed to be completely... She seems... the Strangers themselves are completely devoid of any real humanity. And you can tell from the first line of "Is Tamara home?" that this is a completely different girl, because this girl doesn't know how to remove inflection from her voice, and she just sounds like a normal fucking girl, and it's not creepy at all.
Is Tamara here?
No, you got the wrong house.
Is Tamara home? I think you have the wrong trailer.
I swear to God, I think this movie was just a pad time, because they ended up like, oh wow, that was creepy, and then they had the whole scene play over again.
Well, they did that in the first one too, though.
Oh, okay.
She visits the house like twice, and she's like, "Is Tamara home?" And like, "You came by here already."
Like,
yeah, but the point is, like, all of the characters just look
and feel.
They look and feel completely different. And also, they're, like, weirdly superhuman in this.
The victims have glass balls.
Yeah, and the strangers are made of Teflon, and it's really stupid and weird. They're surviving, like, full-on point-blank shotgun shots to the chest.
Well, but the universe doesn't have the same rules, in which there's a car crash and her car doesn't start.
Well, that's what bothers me. Is
and
that
then there's another car crash.
The first film is so real. It's like, it's so centered in ground.
It's scary.
It's grounded because of the fact that there's nothing about it that is unrealistic.
The point of this is not to be like superficial. It's meant to be what if this actually happened?
Well, that's the thing. It's meant to be in a world of realism, and they're treating these human people like they're fucking Jason Voorhees, and it's stupid. You have a character who literally gets blown up and then is like coming around swinging an axe like it's nothing.
After a car crash.
After a car crash and getting blown up and stabbed in the gut, and he's like jumping on the back of cars and like swinging. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. So fucking stupid.
Like,
it's very silly. It's a very silly movie.
I almost thought they were being ironic at certain points.
But they weren't. That's the thing.
They
and
weren't.
I'm gonna stop ranting because we've gone on for almost an hour about this fucking thing. Well, not on camera, but like you know what I'm saying. Hey, what would you rate this film?
You are a bigger fan of the first
one,
Stranger one, but I kind of think that this would be a very good, ironic, fun movie because it enrages you. If you're with a bunch of people, like-minded...
Drinking.
Well, you don't even need to drink. I think if you're just all enraged and ready to watch this...
A stupid movie.
A really stupid movie, I think that you could have fun. It's not good, and I mean, this is right on the cusp of ironically enjoyable.
So it's okay, but you're still saying it's ironically enjoyable.
But I'm still saying
okay, that's...
Because I really enjoyed the whole movie just being like... groaning along with the audience campiness.
I can't in good faith call it ironically enjoyable because it bears the Stranger's name. And if it was called anything else, I would be like, yeah, it's great, hilarious, stupid fun. But the fact that it's trying to carry on the legacy of a film that is much better than it, and while completely ignoring everything that made that movie good. I'm gonna call The Strangers Pray at Night, which is a dumb fucking title, soulless. Because
that's definitely a fair assessment.
It's the most vapid, cookie cutter Hollywood formula. Everything about it is just so standard, and there's characters making dumb decisions. Yeah, it's completely formulaic. It's characters making dumb decisions, and a really terrible script dictating what these characters do. That's all it is, and it's really annoying and really poor.
They're
and
more
I'm not
like
happy.
God's playthings, not their own playthings.
Well, that's the thing. There's no autonomy in this film. It's like, hey, we need this character to go into another trailer. So let's have the last trailer get a car drive through it. Right? That'll work. Okay. No one gave a shit outside of the actors about how this movie turned out. I think it was made for a quick buck. Yeah. It was a shitty Hollywood conveyor belt movie, and I'm not happy about it. I'm mad as a writer. I'm mad as a director. I'm mad as a film reviewer. I'm mad as a film viewer. I'm just mad. I'm mad as a fan of the first film. If you didn't like the first film, maybe you'll like this one. Possibly. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't care anymore. I've been talking about this movie for almost an hour.
And it doesn't deserve it.
I want to stop. Hey, I have a Patreon. You can click down there. There's a link to it. And if you liked the segment where I made an It's Always Sunny credit out of Dennis getting shot in the head at the beginning of my Strangers review, you can click down there and I'll be able to do more stuff like that because I'll have more access to some fun tools that I can work with. I also have a Facebook and a Twitter. They're down in the description. You can like them and follow them and keep up to date with all our crazy antics and how many movies I review. I do a lot of this. This is getting a little maddening.
Well, it's your life. So.
Hey, yeah, it sure is. If you like The Strangers, you should go online to shoutfactory.com and pick up this cool collector's edition of The Strangers that just came out like a couple days ago for the 10-year anniversary of the movie. They're not paying me money to say this, but I hope they do. It's really cool, and it's got a lot of special features, and you too could own this wonderful horror film by Shout Factory with amazing cover art. With really cool cover art, and it's even got reversible cover art. Look at the inside of the case. It's got the original poster for the movie, and you just flip the cover art, and that becomes your DVD cover art. And it's even got both versions of the movie, theatrical and unrated cuts. You guys should watch it. Go online to shoutfactory.com and buy it for $23.
Leave us alone! But we've just started.